All right, y'all. I'm not here for a long time. I'm just here for a quick update on today's Tory Lanez hearing. I was not at court today, but I will be at court tomorrow. Apparently, the judge is coming back with some rulings. So, and just in order to stay in continuity with the others, updates, we're going to just talk about it. I see y'all in the chat. Thank you for your patience. Let's get in.
God is dawn. Like and subscribe. Comment some night. Love in this light. This God is dawn. God is dawn. God is dawn.
Yes, peace, world, peace. Welcome back. This is Goddess Dawn Speaks. I'm Goddess Dawn, aka the $1 trillion goddess, baby. And if you didn't know, now you do. $1 trillion, that's a mindset, okay? Just out here trying to spread the love. Republicrat, what's going on? I see you, Well Wayne. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Somebody is new here and wanting to know if I mess with Tory. Baby Yoda. I do love the facts. I will say that. But I do also have an opinion. And, I'm not here to make people mad. I just feel what I feel and know what I know. But thank you, Diablo Beauty, for being here. Yep. What's up, Jason Finch? Oh, you riding for Tory on this too? Okay. Well, Wayne said guilty, guilty, guilty. Which technically he is. I mean, he was convicted, right? So, but yeah, just to get into things. I do have notes, but Megan Cuniff, she's pretty detailed. I know she was there. We would do it how we do the R. Kelly trials, or have done, and just go to Twitter. Okay. So I don't know how to. You want to type your name in the chat with the Asian symbols, so I know how to address you. But Tory and his brothers have always been cool and respectful to me. I fell out with Brooksco, but we all right now. Okay, so you know the people. Okay, well, I'm glad you all right with everybody. That's always the way you want to go. You want to resolve conflicts out here. This is not the time to be playing games and being in beefs, especially things that are going to see some one-on-one fades. We don't need that. What's going on, Chrissy Power? Purple, good evening to y'all. Yes, Monday night. Like I said, we're just here to catch up on what happened today at court with Tory Lanez. As everybody should probably know, he is currently incarcerating and awaiting his sentencing, but that has been interrupted by his new attorneys coming in to argue for a new trial. And the last hearing that I did attend, they had basically just gave him a continuation so that Tory's attorneys could amend the sentencing submission, right? But let's see. China, Korea, Japan in the building. What? Okay. Worldwide, baby. Yes. All right. So just the gist of things, just for y'all who just want the gist of it. What I do know is that Tory's new lawyers came in, Jose Baez being the lead, and he wanted to put on a whole presentation apparently, and this is coming from Afi, the attorney, Afi Patterson Esquire. She is on YouTube as the Black Letter Law. She was actually on Pam Esquire's channel, child. I had to catch all this after the fact, but like I said, I'll be at court tomorrow, so I will bring the facts of what actually the judge says tomorrow. But what happened today is Tory's lawyer, he was ready to put on a show and the judge wasn't really having it. At the end of the day, Baez stated that McDezian, who was the previous lawyer, the one who lost the case, he said, that basically Tory had ineffective counsel. And I think they were trying to avoid going that route, but they really didn't have a choice. The judge basically, to all the arguments, was saying, well, his previous counsel could have argued that. Why didn't they argue that? Why didn't they object to stuff and, all of that? So Baez wanted to go out of order, but the judge wanted to stick to the order the way that it was filed. So Baez then argued that he would like to present it in a way that's going to best defend his client, right? I guess, he probably wasn't the one who actually submitted that sentencing motion. So I think Sean Holly might have still been in the mix at that point. I'm not sure, but I know she comes into play as well. The Sean Holly, the attorney. So he filed the supplemental motion, and then he accused the judge or I don't know if it was the judge or the prosecutors, of being prejudiced against him, and saying that, they were violating his rights to defend his client properly. So the judge kind of stuck to his grounds and said, we're going to do things the way I want to do it. But he did give him a small allowance on a couple things. Hey, G. Washington, welcome back. The defense had to take a recess because they were a bit shaken up, I was told, and they had to regroup and re-strategize. So they came back to court. Tory, they say, was pretty stoic. Love warrior. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, they said Tory actually kind of asked the judge 3 times, please don't ruin my life. Yeah. I know on Twitter, Megan goes into a couple other things he said. So I'm going to go over to Twitter and let's talk about what actually happened in the courtroom. I'm just, so just, it looks like the things that were just mainly being argued were, well, I know this tattoo pic right here. They didn't like that. They said this should have never been presented to the jury. Now, of course, Tory initially, he was saying that gun tattoo, that's a tribute to Tupac, because Tupac had the same, I believe it's an automatic weapon tattooed across his chest or below his chest. But his current defense is saying it was a bad look and it should have never been presented, as well as some rap lyrics, as well as Kelsey's 80-minute recorded statement. Okay, so these are the main things that were being argued. Let me go over to Twitter. All right, so it looks like Megan Cuniff was late. I also know that some YouTube drama had happened, or YouTuber drama also had happened at court. I'll touch on that as well. Y'all probably already know, those of you who follow that type of thing. So let's see. Megan was late. I heard she was late. They said she was late and breezed right on in, which is unusual because I know Alex from Street. What is that? What is his YouTube channel name? Street TV. He was late to the last one I was at, and they did not let him in. And he wasn't even that much late, like a couple minutes. Okay, so I guess once she was able to tweet when they were on lunch. She said she only missed about 15 minutes of the argument, and she heard a good hour of back and forth between the judge, Judge Hereford, and prosecutors and Lanez's lawyers about various arguments, starting with Instagram post. She said the background is here. I don't know if I want to. I guess I'll open it. All right. Oh my goodness, child. She got all this. Oh, you got to subscribe to this to read this? Oh, no, you don't. Okay. All right, let's see. Lawyers for rapper Tory Lanez say he deserves a new trial over the 2020 shooting of Megan Thee Stallion, in part because of the judge's decision that prosecutors questioned him about some of the songs if he testified. The motion filed Wednesday also argues the Los Angeles County jury that convicted Lanez considered evidence that shouldn't have been allowed, including comment from Lanez's Instagram account that said, "That's not true," in reply to someone saying people were alleging that Megan's now former friend Kelsey Harris fired the shots that injured Megan's feet on July 12, 2020. Megan, Harris, and Lanez were leaving a gathering. Okay, I'm not going to go through that. We already know what happened, right? Let's see. She took the stand. Can we get back to today? Okay, Lanez' lawyers say the comment was written not by Lanez, but by his social media manager, and the prosecutors didn't properly disclose ahead of trial that they would be using the comment as evidence. And I think what they were doing, they were having to use those comments as, I think this is when Kelsey was on the stand, if I'm not mistaken, as reminders to her because she couldn't remember anything. So, like, oh, you don't remember? Okay, well, then let us remind you. So they have to show things. And I think at that point, they enter these things into evidence, but they weren't previously. So this is what I'm saying to y'all about having a good attorney and also being able to prep your witnesses ahead of time to make sure they don't get you in trouble with their answers. Let's see. Their motion argues prosecutors heavily overstated the value of Instagram posts and also overinflated the inconclusive DNA evidence found on the gun used in the shooting. It also argues prosecutors presented a false history of criminality for Lanez and were mistakenly allowed to play for the jury Harris's entire 80-minute pretrial interview with prosecutors. And it argues prosecutors interfered with Lanez's right to counsel by suggesting his original lawyer, Sean Hawley, had tried to bribe Harris. Hawley stepped back from representing Lanez 12 days before trial, then quit altogether mid-trial. Additionally, the motive argues Lanez's tattoos shouldn't have been shown to the jury because they are creative expressions, including one of an AK-47. The motion says the prosecutors highlighted the tattoo to imply Lanez has a propensity for guns, when the tattoo actually is a homage to his idol, Tupac Shakur. So yeah, they filed an 84-page. I think the supplement was 84 pages, and it says Mr. Shakur used his music and tattoos to discuss socio-political issues affecting the Black community in the 90s. Yet he too was misunderstood. So there they are aligning Tory with Tupac. I mean, they have a couple things in common, but I don't think it goes that deep. Deputy District Attorneys Alexander Bott and Kathy Ta plan to file written opposition to the motion, which Judge Hereford is to consider on April 10th. I'm confused because isn't today the 8th, or am I wrong? And then they're supposed to go back tomorrow, which is the 9th, unless they changed it. Okay, Lanez is scheduled to be sentenced on that date, but Bott said in an email this week that if the motion is denied, the sentencing will be delayed, likely to late April or early May. Wait, is this an old article? This is an old article. Damn you, Megan. All right. Let me come back over here. Thank you for the waves. She said, cheers to the sentencing. So who in here, I mean, people have been criticized, like Megan herself, Megan Cuniff, the reporter. She was criticized by people in the court hallways for badgering the prosecution about when is the sentencing going to happen. She kept saying, well, this is ridiculous. It's just sentencing. What's the problem? Like she seems to be impatient with getting him sentenced. People criticized her saying, what is your hurry? Like this man needs his due process. And sometimes these things do take time, right? If the lawyers are filing motions back and forth between one another, that's just a part of the trial process and the sentencing process as well. So, I don't know. As somebody like herself who covers court cases for a living, I mean, she does this. Maybe she's used to things going a certain way and she's not experienced this type of, hiccup before, or hiccup or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But let me go to her Twitter. She said the biggest theme of the hearing so far is ineffective assistance of counsel. Lanez's lawyers supplement apparently criticizes Sean Hawley's work for Lanez, and she had a conflict that pushed George McDezian into the case with little time to prepare. Now, it seems at that point, if McDezian had to step into the case just a couple weeks prior to the trial, it seems to me they would have been able to get a continuation for the start date of the trial. I know that there were a lot of people already in the mix. Something should have been said sooner. I don't know. I know the jury selection was just the week before. So, I don't know, child. It says the supplement was sealed because Lanez's new lawyers say it deals with attorney-client privilege issues. They're talking about waiving privilege, but Judge Hereford is earning them that if they do it, there's some stuff in there they really might not want in the public realm. Warning, I guess it's supposed to be. She's okay. The judge is warning them. She said it's all super intriguing. Prosecutors called the initial argument about Hawley fraud on the court, and I figured the supplement to the motion might try to flesh out the argument better, and that's what it does, she said. Now, Sean Hawley is representing, what's that guy's name that played on that 70s show? I think he's in an R-word case currently, or he had a mistrial and now the retrial is happening. And I believe Sean Hawley is representing him. And she was also representing some football player who was up on assault or probably R-word charges as well. So she's a busy woman, but it seems to me she should have, Sean Hawley meaning, been able to appear as an attorney who was formerly on this case to explain herself to the court. And maybe she will, I don't know, but sounds like Baez was going to be calling some people, but the judge didn't want to retry the case. So Megan goes on to say, one observation, this is absolutely the most energetic I've seen Judge Hereford. He's almost as animated as that time I walked past Hill's restaurant and saw him at the window table eating lunch and telling stories with his judicial friends. This is what people get mad at her about, because she be trying to put her little slick comments out there. Judge Hereford, and to me, what this is implying is that he's gossiping with the other judges while he's at lunch. And she's only seen him so animated during that time. But it's also implying he's just, being non-judge-like, because you're not really supposed to be talking about your cases and stuff. I know these judges do, but she doesn't know what he was talking about. She talking about she saw him through the window. You would think she was sitting at the table in the restaurant eavesdropping, which I'm probably sure she would have wanted to do if she had the opportunity. She said another theme, Judge Hereford asking why Lanez's lawyer didn't object in trial. That's his question to Barhoma and Baez about the new expert they hired to analyze the DNA. New expert says Lanez's DNA was excluded. Hereford wants to know why no one objected to DNA during trial. Barhoma and Baez's answers first kind of danced around the ineffective assistance and counsel issue regarding McDezian. Barhoma first said previous counsel Sean Hawley had a conflict and Lanez's trial lawyer George McDezian was ineffective by way of conflict. So they're trying to say McDezian was ineffective because of Sean Hawley, because of her, how she moved, which got him on the case way too late. Baez told the judge that prior counsel Hawley made false statements to the court regarding the leaking of discovery and didn't look into the evidence ahead of trial, and that McDezian was at a disadvantage in trial because he was so new to the case. So these are, again, things, and like the judge was saying, like these arguments should have been brought up ahead of time. McDezian seemed to me he was real eager to be there when he during his opening arguments. He was real fiery. He had this look in his eyes like, I got this. But I feel like this should have been argued ahead of trial starting. Maybe they could have gotten more time before starting. Obviously, getting new attorneys puts you very much at a disadvantage I know I go back to R. Kelly a lot, but we talked about R. Kelly because we over here because we have been through his cases, okay, and we know that delays happen, and especially when it comes to lawyers. I know his New York trial was a mess with the different changes of the attorneys. Um, he was already at a disadvantage with that case, but then to have the counsel, especially the last ones who came in really late, the one with the composition book. Um, she says, these are in quotes, if we're able to introduce the conflict, the issue would be a whole lot clearer for the court, Barhoma said, referring to the sealed supplement that apparently includes more details about Holly and McDezian's work for Lanes. Barhoma said Holly told the court she was in the process of hiring her own DNA expert, but that turned out to be false, and an expert wasn't actually hired for another 8 months. Barhoma said the expert was not adequately prepared. Counsel was completely ineffective because of being put in a position by conflicted counsel. Jose Baez said, I don't know anyone in this country who'd want to go to trial with a lawyer who's been on the case less than 2 weeks. Judge Hereford pressed them again about whether they're accusing McDezian of ineffective assistance of counsel, and he said, yes, sir. Baez confirmed. He said, I was trying to be as delicate as I could under the circumstances. I gained no pleasure from attacking any defense lawyer. Okay, she said, I'm headed back to catch the rest of the hearing after lunch. Okay. So they're on the 9th floor now versus the 15th. The big change with this being on the 9th floor is the extra metal detector. This is the floor for the judges assigned to what the courts call long cause criminal cases, complex cases that could be in court for a long haul. Okay. So here's her opinion on this case. She said, given my familiarity with long cause criminal cases, I know there's no way a simple assault with a firearm case could be considered complex, but the security concerns surrounding Lanes' case are obviously real. Fortunately for us all, the Deputy Brown is in charge. What security? So she's saying they moved to the 9th floor for security purposes, and probably also hinting that there could be some people coming in from the outside causing problems for Tory, on Tory's behalf. She said, it's funny, many hearings involving truly complex cases have absolute sagebrush rolling through them when it comes to media coverage. There is a hearing involving ex-LA County tax assessor, big scandal, and someone actually sent a letter to my P.O. box requesting I cover it. I did Google to look for information on this hearing, and there is no coverage on this hearing aside from the people at court, mostly YouTube. But yeah, she said there's no coverage, and the defendants do not have a dedicated online obsessing over every nook and cranny of the case. All right. So Sean Holly is here. This is a picture of her, actually. Let's see. In the middle, the little petite black lady right there. If y'all can see that. Where is the new evidence? That's what I want to know. You cannot retry the case. Thank you. Baez knows better. Why it ain't come up in court proceedings that Megan was a mayor until she started drinking. You know what? No. We don't disparage Meg over here. Sorry. Like she's trying to prove she has some pull. Yeah, exactly. Sharita Michelle is here. Hey, Sharita. Masterson, thank you. I'm just now coming back over here. But yeah, that trial is going on as well, I guess. And you know what else? Other trial is going on in that same court is the lady who ran through that intersection and killed those people on Slauson and Crenshaw out here in LA. The black lady, they said she was a nurse, and then it turns out I think she has mental illness. That trial is happening as well. I think it's pre-trial, but they said they're kind of like actually doing the trial in the pre-trial process. So I don't know. I was going to try to sit in on that as well. If it's happening, I need to look up the date for that. But let's see. What else is this lady talking about? Court is on a 15-minute break. Judge Hereford called it for the court reporter who is transcribing the hearing. We're still hearing argument from Barhoma Baez and also another lawyer who works with Barhoma. I don't have her name yet. The argument is all over the place, but one thing that jumped out to me is that Jose Baez saying he doesn't think of any of the stuff about Tory going between Megan and Kylie Jenner at Kylie's house before the shooting should have come in at all. Yeah, I thought that was kind of strange that they wanted Kylie to come into the court. Says the DA was trying to make Lanez out to be a misogynistic rapper, and testimony about him going between Megan and Kylie played into it. Baez said. Baez didn't mention that Lanez's entire defense was that Kelsey shot Megan in a jealous rage over their shared romantic interest in Lanez. The other attorney also made a bold argument that jurors never should have heard the name Tory Lanez because it's a creative expression. Judge Hereford pointed out that Lanez's own lawyer repeatedly called him Tory Lanez all throughout the trial. He did. But you know why? I believe he was playing to the fans and the public. And I know he knows that Tory does have a lot of support. And I don't know why these lawyers seem to do this in this new internet age to play out to the public, because since when did the public be able to make a difference when it comes to a trial? Unless you're trying to get them before they pick the jury, that I get. But after, when they're already in court and all that, like, let's see, she said, court just let out for the day. Judge Hereford is going to issue his ruling tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Tory Lanez spoke to him before he was let out in handcuffs. Please don't rule on my life. I could be your son. I could be your brother, Lanez told the judge, who is black, she said. She said there wasn't a commotion. A sheriff's deputy was urging Lanez to shut up, but it wasn't a big thing. Hereford didn't say anything back, and Lanez was let out of the courtroom without incident. This followed long argument this afternoon. More details soon. Okay, so he just blurted that out in court, sounds like. The argument was all over the place, but it ended with Barhoma and Baez upset that Judge Hereford said he doesn't need to hear testimony from the defense experts who submitted declarations because their declarations cover it. When Baez was complaining about not being allowed to call witnesses, Judge Hereford told him he knows he doesn't practice law in this jurisdiction, but in this jurisdiction, this is how motions for new trials work. Yeah, he wants to redo a new case, a new trial. Like, no. I never heard of somebody bringing witnesses into a motion argument. These are the lawyers after court. Baez said this is only the beginning of a long process. We're not going to stop until we get him out. Well, hopefully his money is long enough for y'all, because that might take some time. One big thing from today, she said, it was made clear the argument that Lanez's DNA is excluded from the gun is not based on new evidence. It's a new expert analyzing the same DNA evidence prosecutors used in trial, and that Lanez's original expert analyzed as inconclusive. Yeah, there's no new evidence. Sorry, just noticed typo in tweet. Okay. All right. They have a new sketch. Mona Schaefer. I guess I'll switch. He always has the beanie on. But yeah. I mean, it's a sad situation. I mean, regardless of, listen, I'm no fan of what happened with Megan. I'll just say that. And not to say she has no responsibility or accountability to be had when it comes to, being in, just staying out of situations. Like, you should be able to manage yourself to the point where You don't end up being shot at by somebody who was a friend. Um, Book Shika. I know. I was gonna say people want to see his hair because that's the new thing. What is his hairline looking like? G. Washington. That Meg was drunk and jealous. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Wow, really, it's going to trial? No, it's not going to. Well, we don't know if it's going to trial. At this point, they're arguing for the new trial, and this is still in the district court. So it could, I don't know that Judge Hereford is going to discount that whole trial and say, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and grant that. I see this probably going to the higher court when this is all said and done. So the defense was saying they were going to call Kylie. Yeah, they were trying to, and Corey, Kris Jenner's husband or boyfriend or whatever. I was like, but that sounds crazy to me to even want those people there. And Kylie, the only reason, of course, that she was even name dropped all over the place is because of her name. If she was just some regular chick, we wouldn't have probably known. That probably wouldn't have come up so much. I don't know. I mean, I guess it was a part of the situation because of the drinking supposedly that started when he got there. It said he took 5 shots as soon as he walked to the door. We see he's not a big guy, so but his tolerance should be pretty high because and that was during the pandemic too, when people were really at the house drinking and doing whatever. No new evidence, exactly. Thank you, Wayne. If you're coming in, please check out the replay, leave your comments, as well as go ahead and like this video. Thank you so much. All my new subscribers, welcome. And thank you to all my day ones and everybody in between for staying true. It's all good. So I think, like I said, I'm going to court tomorrow. I'll find out what the judge has to say. I'm going to come back live tomorrow when I get back. Or maybe at the courthouse. Maybe I'll just go live while I'm there. But just stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do so. Make sure the top bell is the one that you click, the one for all notifications. Yeah. What's going on, Sammy? And yeah, I think that covers it. That's all I really want to do was just talk about, what happened at court today. That's pretty much it. So, at this point, there's still a chance for Tory, even though I feel he did that shit. I do. But, he's being that this trial process still hasn't sealed him in, he's still fighting and he's, has opportunity depending on his representation. That's what it all boils down to. How much money you got and what's your lawyers looking like. Oh, yeah, that's right, Book Shika. Thank you for reminding me. Armand, that's right. Armand and Milagro, they said, well, from what I understand from Milagro's live on Instagram, she said they got escorted out the courtroom. She and Armand, let me pull him up because I think he had it on his community wall. But I believe they showed up looking like twinsies. Well, let me look up her Instagram, actually. Let me see. Instagram. Whew, so I hope everybody is doing a-okay on this Monday. We got a whole week ahead of us here. And yeah, one day at a time. So who am I looking for on Instagram? Milagro. Let's see. There she is. Let me see. Maybe it's not up. Oh, I think it's not up no more. Well, let me look at Armand's Instagram. YouTube. Oh, wait, here it is. But I can't play it on YouTube. This is somebody else's YouTube. But this was the Instagram live. Whose Instagram is this on? Oh, it's on hers. It's gone now. All right. Let me pull. Okay. So if y'all can see this picture of Armand, Nick at night, and oop, my bad, Milagro at the court outside. And I know this is to prove because Wiley, who I think he's live right now, he had went on and said that Nick at night was a part of the snitch crew, that she was with Megan Cuniff, and she was the one who was helping Megan get them put out of court. So I guess this is to say, aha, that was a lie. So this is not what they had on at court though earlier. Let me see. Here it is. So Milagro and Armand wore the same color suits, matching, but they say it was a coincidence. Okay. And as good as they looked, they were asked to leave court. And they said they had pictures of them. The sheriffs had pictures. And that's typically how it happens when you get banned from court. They have your picture. It was from their social media pages. Or I think Armand said his YouTube and her Instagram. But they are no longer allowed to go to the courthouse for this case or for any case. It doesn't sound like. But Armand looked good, though. Hey, boo. That's too bad. I was hoping to be able to see him up there. Anyway, yeah, I couldn't make it today. I had too much going on, child. Monday too. But yeah, so they're out, and obviously Neek at night, they're still all cool. So I don't know why Wiley. I don't know if y'all look at Wiley's show. He just be saying some shit, and he be just bold with it. Him and Sean Davy Way. They be bold with the stuff they say on in their thumbnails. But I guess that's their secret. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like that. That's called clickbait. Okay. We don't do clickbait over here. I try to deliver, you know. But yeah, come back tomorrow, y'all. I'll be back with the update on what the rulings were on this situation and whether or not he's actually going to be sentenced. Because I think the judge has been ready to sentence for quite some time. The prosecution doesn't think so, so they probably know best. Milagro wants Tory. She always been bad. Yes, that's what I actually stopped watching her channel because of that. I couldn't take it, and I was like, "Why is she dogging this lady so bad?" And especially, had just started at the time. We didn't know what had happened. But yeah, she lost me there. And I think too, she used to bash Cardi. I think too because she was riding for she was a barb, right? Yeah, I didn't like that. I'm just like, can we just all get along? I especially like to encourage all women and support all women if possible, not to pit people against each other or bash a woman over a man because why? I don't know if they're paying you or you just want to get in with them or whatever. I don't know who this you are in my chat here addressing my people. Let me make sure this is not nothing foul now. Can't be playing games. Admonished you for telling a joke. What? Okay. Wiley is a hater. You right, but you know what? He'll jump right on your bandwagon if you get some success. You know what I'm saying? I straightened him out on his channel one time, and then somebody messaged me, said he was talking shit about me on his little radio app thing. I'm like, I do not care. It's time for him to be sent so we can move on. So we can move on, right? Yeah. Right. I was like, when was she drinking wine from a box? Okay, so you trying to be funny. I see. Well, you know what? On that note, I'm going to cut this live, but come back tomorrow, y'all. And I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good Monday night. Finish your night out on a positive note, okay? Thank you. Thank you for doing that. McDezian was second chair. He didn't appear out of thin air. Oh, Tamika said, oh, so Tamika, he was second chair prior to Holly stepping back. Is that what you're saying? And he didn't just get hired? That's what they made it seem like. Like she just hired him out of like the phone book or some shit. So you're saying he was second chair all along. So he was privy to all of the things that were going on pre-trial. Okay. Well, thank you for clearing that up. That makes a big difference actually. Didn't August press charge? Yeah, they were trying to keep that out the court. That's why he didn't get on the stand, because they said if he gets on the stand, then yeah, if it's relevant, the judge said you can open up to past bad acts, and that's why he didn't get on the stand. Anyway, y'all, appreciate ya. Talk to you later. Peace.